In previous videos, I've shown you how to use a fairly complex Python script to extract all people from your GEDCOM file. Lots of you used it, and then lots of you asked for ways to extract sources too. Today, I'll show you how to get everything. People, sources, and the connections between them. I've made it as simple as possible. If you know some Python, that's great. If you don't, but have a little bit of tech knowledge, you'll have no problem following along. At the end of this video, you'll have 3 powerful spreadsheets from your GEDCOM data. A complete person list with all their details, a source list showing every source in your tree, and that person source list that connects each person to their sources. This is perfect for your research with Excel or Google Sheets. First step is to export your family tree into a file stored on your local computer. This file is known as a GEDCOM file. All the major online family tree websites have an option to export to GEDCOM. The exception is Family Search. If you need instructions on how to do it, I'll put a link in the description to a video on my channel that walks you through it. All the desktop software applications that manage family trees have an option to export to GEDCOM. The next step is to find a place to run Python code. I'm going to use a free Google platform called Google Colab. You just need a Google account to use it. So let's get you started on Google Colab. Google Colab, so it's colab.google. If you're logged into a Google account, you don't have to sign in again or sign up. What you can do is go straight to New Notebook, either here or up here. I'm going to click it here. I'm logged into a Google account. If I wasn't logged into a Google account and I click New Notebook, it would give me the login screen. Log in, and then you will be taken to this new notebook. Notebook is where you put your code. This box here is called a cell. We can put our code into the box and we can click the run command. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to upload our GEDCOM file so we can use code to convert it into a spreadsheet. Now, the thing to remember is that when you open up a notebook and then you stop using it and disconnect, your files go away. The files that you've uploaded, they just disappear. So how do we upload a file? This folder here, files, expand that. You may need to wait 20 seconds for the engine to start up, but you will see this sample folder. And I'm just going to expand that folder, sample data, and it gives us these sample CSV files. I am going to upload my GEDCOM file into this sample data folder. So I'm hovering on the line sample data and I get this ellipsis, these 3 dots. Click 3 dots and click upload, and then go find your file on your local machine. I'll click open, and here's where it's telling us that it will eventually be deleted when you stop using the platform, when you close the browser. So click OK, and this is where it has loaded the file. So now we're going to install and use this really simple package of code that I've put together for you. And this package, it's available on the official directory of Python packages, where there are also instructions and there's basically a script that you can copy. Just copy and paste and it'll do the magic. I've put a link in the description below to the package. Here I'll just go to pypi.org and I'll search for it. So the name of the package is simple-gedcom. Search for that, and here it is at the top. As you can see, there are other GEDCOM parsers. I haven't tried all of them. The ones I've tried are good, but they're a little complex to use. I put together this one to be really simple. So simple-gedcom, click into that, and there's this quick start for instructions, which we will use. But first of all, we need to install it in Google Colab. And the nice thing about the publishing page for the package is that it gives you the command to do so. Here, you might see, by the way, a different version number here. Don't worry about that. Whatever is the latest version is here. I'm going to copy this statement to clipboard. Then I'm going to toggle back over to Google Colab, and I will Control V to paste. Pip install simple-gedcom. I will run that. That triangle on the side is the run button. It's downloading it from that publisher site and it has successfully installed it. Can I turn off these red squiggles? Ignore the red squiggles. I think if I put an exclamation mark here, it'll go away. Yeah, you don't need the exclamation mark. Click run on that. it'll tell me I've already installed it. Okay, so now I've installed it. What do I do with it? Let's go back over to the publisher page. I'm going to scroll down to this quick start where it tells me how to use it. And it gives me a few lines here that we're just simply going to copy. So I am going to copy this section here. So from the start up to save person source list to CSV, I am going to copy this, Control C. So from the start up to GEDCOM save person source list to CSV. And I will toggle back over to Google Colab. And you may be wondering, oh, where do I copy it to? I want to copy it to a new cell. So up here in the plus code, that gives me a new cell, and I'm going to Control V to paste. And before we run this, we're going to have to make a change. The only change that you have to make is here. It's looking for a GEDCOM file called tree.ged in a particular folder. That's just sample. I need to get rid of this, and I need to give it the right path to the GEDCOM file. GEDCOM file is over here. And in order to do that, I can just click on the ellipsis. So hover over the GEDCOM file that you uploaded, click on the little three dots here, and you want to choose copy path. That'll put the full path of the file into your clipboard. Over to within the two punctuation marks. You need those punctuation marks, that's important, don't get rid of them. Control V, and that is the full path on Google Colab to my file familytree.ged. Let's just run through what's happening here. This line here goes and grabs all the data in the file into this object here. I'm running 4 functions. First one is save person list to CSV. Second one is save the pedigree. This video isn't about that pedigree file, but it is quite useful. This one, save source list to CSV. And finally, save person source list to CSV. There's actually 4 files being saved here. I'm going to ignore this one for the time being. So let's just click run. If I look over to the left here, do you see 4 new files appeared? 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 3 ones are the ones I'm interested in. They're sitting here. They're CSV files. CSV files that you can open in Excel or in Google Sheets. We need to get them down to our local machine because they will disappear. When you close this session, these files disappear. So I'm going to copy them down to my local machine. So hover over. The first one here happens to be the people sources list. Click the ellipsis and we can click download. Now that just brought it down to the downloads folder. Take familytreepeople.csv, ellipsis, download. Again, that's come down. And then family tree sources. Click the ellipsis and download. Down that comes. So now if I go to my downloads folder, I will see that's the second time I've downloaded it, so it's called, let's put that little 1 in. I have 3 files there because I didn't take down the pedigree one. I'm going to copy those into another area just to make it simple. Copy those over here and I'll just rename, I'll just take that little 1 off so it's not confusing. And now I have these 3 files. I have Excel on my local machine. I could also upload it to Google Sheets or import it to Google Sheets. Look at it there. I just double click it, it'll open in Excel. It's a CSV file, so it doesn't open up nicely formatted. I'll give it a little bit of space here. What this is a list of every single person in your GEDCOM file where I pull out basic details of first name, last name, birth date, birthplace, death date, and death place. Then over here on the right, for each person, I put their parents' first and last names to give it a little bit of context when you're scrolling down. So I won't stay too long on this particular file. I'll go back to the folder. And the next file I'm going to open up is the sources file, sources.csv, double click on that. So this is every source repository that's in your family tree. So for example, for me, this Ireland 1901 census, I've got plenty of people in my tree that have a census record, but the source title is only in this file once. So that is the distinct list of sources. But what's more useful is the sources that are attached to the people in your tree. And that is the third file here. People sources. Open this up, give it a bit of spacing. I've got the first name, last name, birth date, birthplace, death date, and death place. And then crucially, I have the source title. If I come down to James here, James is in here 2 times. That's because in my family tree, I have 3 sources attached to James. I have a birth record, a death record, and a marriage record, and they're all on Ancestry. If I come down to Owen, I have, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 sources. So before I continue, I'm just going to take advantage of the spreadsheet format by making this a little bit easier to use. I'm going to bold the top row here. Then I'm going to freeze that row, freeze panes, freeze top row. So I'm going to scroll down a little to show you one more feature. I've got a Bernard Gaffney here and a Margaret Gaffney. And notice that neither of them have a source title. What I've done with this file is that I've put every single person in the GEDCOM into the file once. Where they have 1 or more sources, you're going to see a source title. But if you see a row where you've got the person details and there is no source title, it means they have no source in your family tree. And that means whether you're using Excel, Google Sheets, or another spreadsheet application, it's really easy to identify all the people in your family tree who do not have a source. You just need to put a filter on the source title column. I'll just expand the menu here and go to Sort and Filter. Go to Filter. And now I've got a filter on all the columns. I expand source title, and what I want to do is take off select all. So I uncheck every box, and I want to scroll down to the bottom, and I want to check only the box for blanks. Click OK. For me, it's 224 people where I do not have a source. And if you're looking for a research plan, here's a good place to start. Now, you might find like 224 people, that's a lot. Well, let's narrow it down a little bit further. The ones where I don't have a birth date or death date are going to be tough to research, but in some cases I do have a birth date. So if I put a filter on birth date and now do the opposite here, I'm taking off the blanks and I'm only showing rows where I actually have birth date details and no source. That's 51 people. That's a more tackleable piece of research, if I can say it that way. I could start at the top and work my way down, looking for sources for each of these individuals. So let me clear those filters. I'll show you another piece of interest. Take off the filter, and you see that source for Maureen Young there, Ancestry Family Trees. In the case of Maureen, I do have an entry from Find a Grave. Let me come down here to Bernard Soden. In Bernard's case, the only source that I have is from another ancestry family tree, and I would always prefer to have record sources. So that's another really useful thing to do with the spreadsheet, is to identify all the people where the only source that you have is an ancestry family tree, because again, those are targets for further research. How do you do that? Well, that's not so simple. You can use a combination of spreadsheet formulas, or you can do it with Python. If you're interested, drop a comment and I can make another tutorial. If you're familiar with coding, check out the link in the description to our online course on using Python with your own family tree. We show you how to convert your family tree into a database that you can analyze with Python notebooks. First couple of lessons are free, so you can try it out with no risk. Other than that, best of luck with your family research.